Okay. Oh, we're on. I'm just sitting here patiently waiting. Well, hello and welcome to our 12WBT webinar. It's an absolute thrill to be here from our offices, respective houses, and hopefully wherever you are watching. Thank you for joining us. I just want to say, first and foremost, this webinar, really, the overarching theme is about your year, your health, and whatever that manifests for you, whatever your health means to you. That's kind of why we're here and why we're, talking all things 12WBT and all things your health. And of course, we would love you to be able to hit your goal in 2023 with 12WBT. And we know we can get you there. We will talk all about that in moments to come, but we feel 100% satisfied that we can get anyone there. We've done it many, many times, and we've been doing it now for 13 years. We are now down the line. And I guess with some little bit of pride in my chest, I can say that we were really one of the originals, or the original OG of online fitness training. And I remember back in the day when I said I was going to do this, people were like, hang on, but personal training, isn't that what personal means? Like, how can you be personal online? And I was like, just watch me. So it's
I remember that first video you put out, and I was kind of like, this is an interesting concept. And there you were by the water, I think near the in eastern suburbs or something, saying, come and I'll be your PT. And I was just like,
yes, it was my very first splash page, we called them back then, and I was, hi, I'm Michelle Bridges, and how would you like me to be your personal trainer?
And we're still
here. Here we are still. So please, without any further ado, I would love to introduce you to two very special people who are a part of the 12WBT team. Both of them have been with me since pretty much we started. I think, Lisa, you're coming into 12 years, 13 years, and Steph, you're over a decade now. So I think, when I think about all the people that have been on the 12WBT program, some of them have been there from day one, some of them come and go. That's a testament straight off the bat. But I also think it's a testament to knowing that you've got people that are with you, your colleagues, your peers, who have been working in the business for as long as you have. Thank you, ladies. So this is Lisa, my 12WBT lead dietitian, and she, has many credentials in her own right, but has been with the program for pretty much day one. And then, of course, we have the amazing Steph, who is the lead of support crew. Steph is intricate with the program. She knows how to get inside of it and get the best out of it, and then explain that to the members. And she's also very good at encouraging, supporting, and giving a hug when needed, virtually even. So welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Mish. And look, thinking back, 12, 13 years ago, and how far 12WBT has come, I think it's important for people to recognise that we're not just a PDF or a stagnant page, that, over the last 12 years, we have evolved the program and we have changed it and we've added in all sorts of things. I remember when I came on board, there was 1 calorie level and it was for women, and that was it. And now we have 5 calorie levels, and we've got, everything catering from, pregnancy to breastfeeding to, all sorts of things. So it's been an incredible ride. And I think, the moving pieces, and that it's not a stagnant thing, is a really important part of 12WBT, and something that I'm proud of and proud to have helped, get up and running.
Well, Steph, you know the behemoth intimately, and it is a behemoth when you get behind the paywall, right?
What's there, but there's so much good stuff, and that's why we've had members who have been with, I've been here for, like Mish said, almost 10 years, and I think there are so many members that I've seen from the very first round that I started working with who still come back to us today.
So
how cool is that?
It's very cool. So what we're going to do today is discuss how 12WBT does provide sustainable results, which I think is really important. Sometimes people think of, 12 weeks as being just a short time, but actually 12 weeks is a beautiful amount of time to create change and create habits. And so we're going to look at, how we do deliver sustainable results and how the whole program works. Steph's going to take us into, I guess, the back end, or to actually the front end that you see, so that you can see what the program looks like, which is really important. But most importantly, we're going to delve into how this program can be tailored for any time in your life to get the best outcomes for you and your health and your needs and requirements for that stage in life. So that's what we're going to cover off today. So over to you, Mish. Tell us.
Well, I want to thank everyone that's here at the moment right now, because they've made a commitment to turn up to this. So already you've lived up to a commitment of coming in and finding out as much as you can about the program, but also delving into what you want out of 2023. And I'm a big believer, and I wrote this in my very first book, which I'm going to show. I'll show it now. Crunch time, because that was what this company was based off. So I wrote this in 2009. And then the 12WBT program came to life from this book online, and lots of chapters. I mean, I stand by what I said in this book all those years ago. It's my baby. But a big part of that was language and what you say, what you think, and you manifest. And I've been going through a personal change in my household at the moment. And I thought I was never going to get there. And I've been walking around the house, even though I didn't believe it at first. I can do this. I've got this. I've got this. I can make this happen. I know I've got control. I can do it. I can do it. And I was literally saying it out loud. and now I look back, it's been 3 weeks, and I'm like, oh, I've done it. So I put the action into place, but I started by what I was thinking and what I was actually saying. So taking the foot off the pedal of I can't, I'm too busy, I'll probably fail, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I can't do that, and putting the foot down on things such as I can, I will, I matter, I am in control, I deserve this, and this is my year. It might feel weird to be saying things such as this. I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there on the internet about, what you say in your head will manifest out of your mouth, and then before you know it. So it's about that real positive language. So thank you for, first of all, showing up today and being a part of this. And I want to also stress here that no one will invest as much into your health as you will. No one's going to put you right there in the driver's seat as much as you yourself will, because everybody's got their own things that are going on in their lives. So you'll also be pleased to know, that when you do join the 12WBT, you'll have these beautiful women, and there's many other in the team, other men and women in our team that are there to support you and are there to encourage you. So like I said, 12WBT came off the back of this book. I was doing the Biggest Loser show. I wrote this in 2009, it says in here. I didn't know it was that long ago, but it sounds like it was. And I'd just done my first season of The Biggest Loser, and I knew that I had a message that worked, and I knew that there were people out there that wanted it. And it was just a case of, how am I going to get this online? And so, back in the day, it was a very skeleton frame of what it is today. It was built out of my lounge room, and with a lot of love. And then before I knew it, there were a lot of people coming on board with the team, and we were getting unbelievable results. In fact, I've got a couple of stats here. We've helped over 400,000 people over the last 12 years transform their lives, and that equates to 90 people a day. Woo, go us. And I think we did a whole bunch of stats ages ago, Steph, you might remember these, where we said we added up everybody's kilometers and we'd run to the moon and back 10 times or something like that. There was all these crazy stats that we put out there when I think we hit our year 10. But it's been an absolute passion of mine. And as Lisa said before, this program has really come into a life of its own. And it's almost like I can, in a way, step back, because it's gathered that much momentum now. And we're really passionate about the community that's become a part of this.
And
So
I think a really good point, Mish, is that unlike some other programs, which might just be, you purchase the program and you get sent a PDF, we actually have this massive community of incredible humans who inspire and motivate and, just really support each other in the most beautiful way. Yes, there's us professionals in there supporting the journey of our members, but there is nothing more powerful than people who are walking the same path at the same time.
yes, yeah.
And our community is just, they touch my heart so much sometimes. There's a lot of love and support in there. So shout out to all our current members who are in there and just giving the love to each other and, telling each other that anything is possible. You just got to set your mind to it and just JFDI.
Yeah. And you'll get to know that. If you haven't heard that phrase before, you will get to know it as you get a part of the team. So I'm going to throw over to, actually, no, let's just talk a little bit about, what the things about the flexibility and the customization within the program. And Steph, you could probably throw into this as well, because it so well.
Yeah, I think the biggest I think the most daunting thing for people is like, oh my God, a meal plan. They're going to, serve me these meals and I have to stick to the exact thing of what they give me. But our meal plans, which is one of the things that people come to us first, because, that's one of the places where they feel lost, I think, a lot when it comes to their nutrition. And we have the option to customize all your meal plans. There are over 1,300 recipes in our index.
I think it would take you 3 years to eat all of the recipes. So good luck with that.
Yeah, and there's so many things, and the customization options within this program is crazy. Like, there is so much. There's something to fit everyone. I honestly believe that that's true. There is something to fit everyone. Even if you're like, I don't like eating this, I don't like eating that, fine. Go through the recipe index and you'll find so many things that you
vegetarian, lactose, all sorts.
I was just going to jump in there because that's sort of my baby, the place that I play in the most, because not only am I putting together the meal plans, but also creating recipes. And so a lot of the time before we do another big chunk of new recipes for the members, we say to the members, what do you want? And you will find real food options in our recipe index, foods that families love, whether it be spaghetti bolognese or lasagnas or a butter chicken. Yeah, pizza night, like it's all in there. And I think one of the main feedback that I've had from members over the years is just a massive thank you for making food that's real. It's not, it doesn't feel like diet food. And not everyone is here for weight loss purposes, but for those people who are trying to lose weight, it's satisfying and it's comforting and it's food that they recognize and they're familiar with. And I think that's a massive credit to the program, is that, we have real food. And it's delicious.
Yeah, I this winter, or the winter just passed, I lived off your chicken noodle soup. It was so comforting. I was cooking it all the time. In the end, Axel said, Mummy, can we just not have that soup tonight? I'm like, okay, maybe it might be a bit overkill.
The recipe is simple as well. Look,
easy.
I'm not a chef, but I figure, if I can make it and put the flavors and whatever together, and I'm just, a home cook, then anyone can do this. And so we try and make it easy as well. So
that's it. So minimal ingredients that you see as soon as you walk into your supermarket. You don't have to schlep to a health food store and get goji berries that have been blessed by a monk and that cost, $200. Everything is absolutely accessible and easy, because I, as you said, Lisa, I think when people get in the kitchen, sometimes they get a bit lost. So if you can follow a really quick and easy recipe, it makes a big difference. And particularly when you're time poor, we have a lot of efficient and effective cooking that you cook up. Like I would do the soup and then I would put it in a container. I'd have like maybe 4 or 5 containers straight into the freezer. And then I'd have the one that we have for dinner tonight. And then I've got my takeaway for the rest of the week, or whatever.
Yeah. And another thing in the recipe index is we've got them labeled as like freezer friendly. So if you want to do a bulk cook, which some of our members, they just look amazing. They'll do these bulk cook-ups and then they'll have food stacked in the freezer for those nights where life is just too much. And they've got, that safety deposit within the freezer that they did a big cook up of. So it's a freezer friendly, 1 pan, 1 pot kind of meals, which make bulk cooking really easy as well. Very simple breakfasts.
even some of the fussiest, we've had emails before, I don't like chicken, I don't like tomatoes, I don't like, and really simple ingredients. Some people are super fussy and they've come to the end of the 12 weeks and they're like, oh my God, I love this, I love that. Whoever knew that this would taste so nice? And I think a lot of mums come to us too worried that they're going to have to cook 2 different meals, one for their kids, one for them. But we have so many meals that are absolutely family friendly. And
family friendly busters that the kids are like, Mom, can we have the butter chicken? The butter chicken's always been a hit.
there's so much good stuff in there.
So ladies, let's talk a little bit about what 12WBT is not. I want to jump straight in and say we are not a quick fix. We are very much about the action, and it doesn't require blood, sweat, and tears, but there are some actions that we get you doing. And when you come in, a lot of people go, just tell me what to do. Okay, we will. We'll give you everything. We'll give you all of it. And you'll reap the rewards. We take care of the what, the how, the when, everything. So that you don't have to think. We take care of the thinking.
And start to become a routine for you, part of your daily routine. These things will just become part of what you do. It's not, we're not asking you to do anything crazy, but we're going to give you the tools. And eventually, the more you do them, the more it's just going to fit into your daily lives, I think.
Great
People
point,
get
Steph.
big results and really good results, but the key is to set up structures and routines and stay on task, because you can't just sign up to a program and just be like, well, I'm going to achieve this. You actually have to put in the hard yards. You still need to roll up the sleeves in the kitchen and, outside, wherever you need to move your body. You still need to do those things, but it's the supports and the structures that are in place that allow you to achieve good results. And you don't have to think too much. And that's important, I think, for some people.
I think I want to say on that note, we are not a fad diet. Like I think we've already probably talked about that a lot, but I want to really make sure I say that very clearly, because we're not a fad diet. Our dietary needs are covered well and truly, and we have our experts there putting it all together. We're not a short-term solution.
Yeah, I think this is important because, look, 12 weeks is this beautiful package of time where if you stick to something, you can create habits that will stick. And so after a 12-week round, for instance, if you're ready to move on your own, because we've, shown you how to live a healthier, more nourishing and more active lifestyle, brilliant. You go on your own because you've created those habits over a 12-week period.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you still need structure and support for longer, the program's still there and you can join again, or you can become a lifestyle member and things like that. So I guess at the end of the day, we probably want we want everyone to fly on their own and to be able to look after themselves long term. But for that 12 weeks in particular, it's about establishing those routines and rituals and structures that create long-term change. And so it's not short term, it can become long term, but you still need to, keep what you learn and move through life with those lessons.
Yeah, in fact, my boss from The Biggest Loser, like the man that ran the whole thing, his wife does 12 WBT once a year. She always comes back once a year. That's her checkpoint.
Yes. So and we have members who've dabbled in other programs, but they come back to us because they're like, oh, we like your recipes better, or, this is easier to follow, or we like the support that we get online. And that's always very reassuring too, from my perspective, that we're doing the right thing and that people want to come back because they're getting results here. So that's nice.
Look, I think it would be good to jump across to you, Steph, so you can kind of guide us through what a typical week might look like.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you. I would love to have a look at what's behind the paywall. What do you see when you become a member? So let me share with you exactly that, and I'll talk you through a really quick snapshot of what it looks like when you.
And I just want to do a big shout out to our tech team. They are amazing at what they do and amazing at making this behemoth come to life. So big shout out to the techs out there.
Okay, here we go. So once you are logged into our website, you hit what we call the dashboard. And so the dashboard is basically a summary of everything you need to do that day. So we make it really easy. You log in, here's your meals, and then also here is your exercise for the day. So you click into there and it's as simple as, you know, then completing your workout, and then you can even track your workout or your recipes from that dashboard. This is what a recipe looks like from your meal plan. And then here, just here, you can see that you can track all of your recipes, and the calories will be added to your My Tracker, which is just up here. So you can have a real summary of what is going on in your day and keep track of, you know, your whole day from breakfast to snacks to dinner. And then up at the top here, you'll see all of our, this is like our navigation basically of the site, where you'll find everything you need under fitness, mindset, community, the blog, help, and then obviously food and nutrition. And this weekly, where it says week 6 is really important too, because basically that's everything you need for the week right there. So it's like one drop down and you can access everything from there, which is really cool. So it's, sometimes people look at it and they're like, oh my God, but I reckon I always say it takes maybe a week or 2 to get your head around everything. And then once you're in there, you'll be, you know where to go, and you'll be, you know, going through everything like a pro. So like I said, that's the week drop down there, where you'll get everything you need for your week. And then food and nutrition, which is all the recipes, our calorie lookup, and our nutrition videos. And so we talked a bit about the 1300 recipes. This is where they live, which is really cool. And you can see everything there. And I don't know if Lisa mentioned it, but we really try to limit the amount of ingredients that we put into these recipes, so we're not overwhelming people when they're cooking. We're not asking you to buy 30 different things for one recipe, which is good.
Yeah. And you can swap them in and out. So if there's a recipe that you don't like, or there's something that you want to try, you can kind of make your own playlist.
Yes, absolutely. And then this is our video gallery, which is hot everything. So whether it be nutrition videos, and these are educational videos as well. So these, you know, if you might not, you know, if you've got any kind of things that you want to look up and you're thinking, oh, how do I customize my meal plan? It's right there. And you can, there's all these different little snip tips and really useful videos that are educational, and, you know, they're short and quick, but they're really valuable stuff in there.
And we've been creating them for many, many years. So there's a lot.
A lot of content.
Yeah. Now this is probably one of the favorite pages, which is your meal plan page. So this is what it looks like when you get your weekly meal plan. So you've got your breakfast through to your dinners, and even snacks in there as well for the whole week. And this is where you can customize, change your preferences, which we touched on a little bit before, whether you're cooking for 1, cooking for 2, vegetarian, everything can be done in here. And then the magical shopping list, which
is such an education. Sorry, I just want to jump in. That meal plan, that is such an educational piece in and of itself, because it just has you being forward thinking, organized. You get your shopping list, which covers the meal plans. You can even click and collect. You don't have to go to the supermarket. And it just has you feeling like you are so back in the driver's seat and you are so all over this. So good.
I think being organized is going to be one thing that's going to really help you along these 12 weeks. And this is why we have these tools to help you as much as we can keep organized so you can keep going. And one of the best features as well is the Woolworths feature, which is pretty much just an add to cart all of the things that you want to buy for the week and set it over to Woolies. And then here we've got our exercise index, which basically takes you through every single exercise that will feature in your plans. If you don't know how to do something, this is here to help you figure out exactly what you're doing. And then obviously our workout videos, which is so cool. We have so many.
We've got new ones coming in all the time.
Every round, and there is everything from 10 minutes to an hour. If you're short on time, you can access the express workouts. There's so many to choose from. And this is what your weekly exercise plan looks like, which is a summary of your week.
And I guess one thing here is that people don't realize that we've just got so many silos. Like, it's not just a one-stop shop when it comes to the exercise. We've got, I mean, lean and strong, fit and fast. We've got our pregnancy, pre-pregnancy program. We've got our fit for 50s. There's so, I think, what are we, about 13 now, different categories? that you can click into?
And then this here is our mindset videos. So you'll get 2 of those a week, and this is what that looks like. So you'll be able to watch those every week through your program. And then we have the member zone, which we've kind of touched on briefly, but this is an amazing space to come and connect with everyone else on your journey. And you can jump into different groups, and then you can see our support crew as well. But these groups in here are so great, and you will find so many good conversations happening in there that really inspire you and kind of keep you motivated to keep going when you're kind of watching what everyone else is doing around you as well. It's really great. And then our blog is, you know, full of some great content, whether you want to look at a success story, look up some recipes, there's everything there. Finally, our help section, we have FAQs galore in here because we know our website is big and we know that there's lots going on, but they're all there to help you. And obviously, if there's something that you can't find, we welcome you to contact us because that's what we're here for. So we want to, you know, if you're stuck, if you don't know anything, you either come to us, reach out in one of our community spaces. But that is pretty much a very quick summary of what you'll see as a member on our site.
Makes me smile looking at all that. That's taken a lot of time, a lot of experience, a lot of years, a lot of energy, a lot of love to create such an amazing online program. Well done, ladies. So good. One thing that I think we should probably jump to as well is different needs for different life stages. And Lisa, I know you've got so many great things to say about this, about all the different stages in your life, that you're not going to be eating the same way you were in your 20s as to what you're going to be in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. So can you do a quick snapshot on that for us?
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. You know, the way that we eat and we move in our 20s isn't going to match what we're doing in our 70s. And so as we move through our life, we'll have greater demands for certain vitamins and minerals, even macronutrients than we do in other times. So as a program, we recognize this and we try and cater for a lot of different periods that we live. I mean, if you think back even to your own 20s, I know during my 20s and I was out of home and I was having to look after myself. I was probably drinking too much and probably eating too many, you know, fast food items and things like that because it was convenient. Kind of lost my way. And so in my 20s, I recognized that there was a really strong need for supports and structures just to get on track and to get myself back on track. And so that's where 12WBT is great for sort of in the 20s. And in the 20s, you know, it's also about, you know, you probably I won't say in your best physical state because some people aren't in their 20s, but our body is capable of doing a lot in our 20s without, you know, niggling injuries and things that you might experience later in life. So there's a lot we can do in our 20s to create some
Your engine's burning just that bit faster, isn't it?
And then, you know, when we move in sort of, you know, our 20s, 30s and 40s, I mean, women in particular, we have a huge female population. You're looking at things like pregnancy, you know, post-birth stuff, breastfeeding, all of that. And the demands on our body are very different during those years for women in particular. You know, our need for things like folate and iron and some certain micronutrients during, you know, pregnancy and pre-pregnancy are very different to what we need post-menopausal. For instance, iron. Iron is massively important during our younger years and less so as we get older because we're not menstruating and things like that. So it's very interesting that, you know, across the course of a lifetime that, you know, our needs do change. So we have programs for pregnancy.
I learned so much when because we do have a pregnancy program, if I hadn't already mentioned that before for anyone out there considering. And I learned so much when we filmed that particular program. I learned so much and I was like, wow, this is incredibly important and valuable information for anybody who's trying to conceive or for anybody who has already conceived. So thank you for tapping in on that one. And you were just about to jump into menopause.
Oh, right. Yeah. Look, menopause. I know there's been a lot of interest in menopause from our members who have, I guess, aged with us, Mish.
I'm just sitting here thinking I started this in my 30s, then I had a baby in my 40s, and now I'm in my 50s. Yeah. And I've been doing this program or some way, shape or form of it all that time.
Yes, and a lot of our members have aged with us, and there's a lot of interest at the moment around menopause and those sorts of things. And I guess this is a whole webinar on its own, but it's important to recognize that as we age and our body starts to change, the main thing that's going on in there is a whole cascade of different hormonal responses and how our body responds to food with those hormones and all sorts of things. So I guess, just quickly, things like reducing the amount of refined carbohydrates in your diet is something you can do right away. Making sure that you're eating healthy fats, and making sure that you are eating a well-balanced diet as well. There's a lot of research around the Mediterranean style diet, which we have lots of recipes that can cater for that. And also opting for like a lower carb option can be a good way for some women pre and postmenopausally, because it's just about keeping those insulin levels really quite steady. So we have a low carb plan for that purpose.
Yeah, we do.
So I think that's a whole topic on its own. But for our
we did a whole book on that. I'm just looking around to see if I've got that book. We did the 12 WBT low carb solution. So yeah, we definitely have that covered.
Our peri and postmenopausal women, we're on that ride with you, and we hear you loud and clear that you need support in that area, and it's something that we aim to really focus in on, I guess, in our community. And I'm in that member zone helping women of that age bracket. Hey, look, I'm 44 and I have a toddler at home, so everyone is on very different life journeys, but physically we have very similar but also diverse needs amongst ourselves. And then for our older populations, women in their 60s and 70s and beyond, we have programs like our MOVE programs, which are a lot more gentle and therapeutic. You need to think about moving the body to maintain flexibility and sort of suppleness. And in terms of nutrition,
we've got Chucky in with Pilates. Sorry to interrupt, but the Pilates seems to be going quite successfully.
Yeah, and nutritionally, something like a sodium intake, for instance, is very important as we age. And so all our recipes are low sodium, and we go for low sodium options where possible. We look at boosting calcium intake to look after those bones postmenopausally, all sorts of things. So understand that within 12 WBT, whatever stage of life you're in, there is a way to navigate the program so that it's going to fit you as best as possible. And know that both Erica and myself are accredited practicing dietitians. We work with helping people of all ages, and we're there for you if you're really stuck. So we have that, medical knowledge and background to help support you on your journey, wherever that may be.
You just reminded me of one of the members that you girls had mentioned earlier by the name of Ray.
Yes, shout out to Ray if you're online. We have beautiful members within our community, and look, I can't remember the stats on Ray, her starting weight and weight loss, but Ray has lost a grand amount of weight. She's postmenopausal, and she is the fittest she's ever been in her life. And for her, sharing her journey within the community is not only inspiring for other women, it's quite it's a real eye-opener in the sense that she has used the supports and structures, the routines, the rituals, and all those things to create new habits for herself that have really stuck and stayed with her. And she's maintained an incredible amount of weight loss, but she is a beacon.
Probably put some muscle on as well.
That's right. Yeah, she loves doing her weight training and just moving. It's just become part of her every day. And for a lot of our members, it's about keeping accountable by staying within the community. So you can say, hey, look what I'm doing today. And just having that pat on the back.
And inspiring others to join you.
It really does. We have a lot of members like that. But Ray, if you're out there, you are an incredible woman. And I'm inspired by you.
We're inspired, but also, like you guys said, our members are inspired because we've got a lot of new people that come on board and they're really like a deer in headlights, what's going on, all of it's too much. And honestly, the encouragement that people like Ray and other members that we've had success stories just like Ray and are still active in our community are inspiring everyone to keep going. And their gentle approach, which I think is just the best.
And, you know, in that first week or two, it can be quite overwhelming. It's a site to navigate. It's, you know, a new way of living. And it's important that when you feel like it's too tough and too hard, that you reach out, because someone will say to you, hey, simplify things. Just, you know, have the same breakfast every day for a week. Just come up for air. Try bulk cooking this. You know, this is what's worked for me. And it's that bonding and that community that I think is such a special thing. And it's one of the reasons that I've stayed with the program for so long, is because the connectedness and the mateship within the program is a truly beautiful thing.
It is.
I love it. And there's also a lady by the name of Lisa in the UK. She does incredible inspirational posts in the community and has gone from strength to strength. This woman's now running marathons, and she shows us what she's eating. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, seeing her put my recipes, you know, trial them all and then bring them to life in her kitchen. That's one of the greatest joys of my day, is like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Looks so fantastic. And she loves giving an honest review of the recipes as well. So what gifts these people are to our community. And we thank them for being part of our community. It's pretty cool.
I think that at this point, gosh, we could just talk about this program all day, because we just are so passionate about it. We've seen the results. We've seen what it's done for people. And we've seen the trickle-on effect, the knock-on effect, that not only the person, but also the family members that are kind of, you know, get on the bandwagon as well. I'd like to open it up to some questions. What do you think, ladies?
I've got some really good questions that I've seen that I really think that we should focus on and answer. So let's start with this one. This is a good one. How do you become motivated and disciplined to start and keep going?
Can I jump in and just say here that I got this old catch cry. I said it like 100 years ago, where motivation's like a bad boyfriend, never there when you need them. I don't know where I came up with that one, but and what I meant by that is sometimes we get bogged down by the concept that we must be motivated. We must be wound up like a spring coil in order to launch forward into getting what we want. And I just find that that's too much for me. Like, it's that whole concept already, I'm already exhausted and I'm already tapping out. So I feel like in many ways it's almost like a subterfuge. It's almost like a way in which we wave the white flag, because that whole idea about motivation is it's already knocked us out of the game. So you don't need to be motivated, I want to say. You all you need to do is know what it is that you want to achieve, then have a plan, and then action it. And you don't have to action it like, you know, an Olympic athlete in the first couple of weeks, or even in the second or third couple of weeks, but you just simply have to do what the plan asks you to do, and you step by step. And if one day the wheels fall off, that's okay. It's a long life. We're not running a short race here. This is like a marathon, an ultra marathon. And so that's my thoughts around motivation. Don't let that be the thing that stops you in the head.
I agree. And I think making sure that you celebrate those small wins, and by small wins, I might mean you ate, like, your dinners for the week were all healthy and you stuck to the plan and they were great. Celebrate that, because that's amazing. Yeah. That's a big...
Or you drank 2 liters of water almost every day this week. Woo, go me.
And those small little celebrations will keep you motivated to do it again next week, and then the week after, and the week after. And before you know it, you've hit 12 weeks and you've made a lot of good changes. And that's, I think, those little wins are what is a motivation for you to keep going. And it becomes, you know, a little bit addictive when you know that you're doing really good things for your body.
It's so funny, Steph. I said to the girls, I said to both of you before we got on this webinar, that a friend of mine texted me literally minutes before we went on, and I put him on the 12WBT January round, and he just texted me and he goes, Mish, this is fantastic. I've already lost 9 kilos and I'm feeling so fit and I'm enjoying my workouts. My jeans are loose and people are noticing. Isn't it funny how it's not just that complicated, is it? It's pretty simple. And I'm like, go figure. He just needed and he's the cook in the family. He just needed some support and some planning and some understanding about nutrition, and then a little bit of guidance on exercise, and whoosh, off we go.
I think that's a really good point. I mean, my 9-year-old son could tell me that an apple is healthier than a Mars bar. But what it comes down to is making, having the supports around you so that you can make good choices all the time. And so those routines and rituals and structures and supports are really where it's at. Mm.
That is it. That is it, girlfriend. Habits, routines, and rituals. That is where it is at. All right. Have we got another one?
So this one, we've kind of touched on it, but I think it would be good to kind of go into it a little bit more. How do you think we differ from something, or from the other, weight loss companies out there who have similar structure and support? What makes us different?
Well, I'll let you girls answer that, but I want to just jump in and say that we're not just about weight loss. And I think that some people may think that we are, and we do have that incorporated into the program, absolutely, but it's not, we're not about that only. We are about strength. We are about flexibility. We are about core strength. We're about nutrition for all ages. We're about pregnancy, pre-pregnancy, menopause. It's not just about weight loss. And I want to be really clear on that. But can you girls, you jump in and answer the question about the differences that we are?
Well, I think that's really the core of it, is that, it's, you can't just focus on anything being just for weight loss, because look, you can lose weight during doing 12WBT, but it's also about learning how to nourish your body and to nurture your body and to create, a structure within your life that creates long-term lifestyle change. So
learn to cook. We teach you how to cook.
That's right. And so some programs might be only about counting things and, analysis paralysis, calculating and tabulating things and, but what happens when those supports are gone? So it's about learning along the way, taking on different mindset lessons and understanding how to create, a healthy plate of food that's not necessarily following a recipe. And I feel that the thing that 12WBT does beautifully is within the program, looking at all the lessons that we've recorded for you, whether it be how to cook something or understanding the difference between, full fat and low fat foods and all sorts of things. There is so much content on our site. And I feel that if people can look beyond the program just being for weight loss and actually embracing it for what it is, whether it be you want to run a marathon or, hit some big, hairy, audacious goal that you just think's impossible, you can actually tap into things within 12WBT and create a new life for yourself, a new you. And we see that with our members. And I feel when people get really fixated on just trying to lose weight, that's not motivating.
You're going to get so much more than that. That's just a byproduct in some instances. You'll get so much more. And I feel like we get so many comments from our members about how much they got out of it, not just for themselves, but for their family. Like now I feel, and I'm just like rereading, messages. Now I feel like I'm so much more in control of the household. I feel like I'm so much more in control of what my family are eating. And I just feel like I'm so much more organized. Like that's got absolutely nothing to do with weight loss, but what a gift.
And I think and I think we've said it before, but the educational side of this program, what you will learn when you reach the end of week 12 will surprise you. I really think it will surprise you. And we've had people go through this program who have come to us not knowing anything, and they've come out and they're like, you've inspired me to change my whole career into nutrition, into fitness, because I've learned so much. And that wasn't because they lost so much weight. It was because they learned so much about what it's like to eat healthy foods, whether it's exercising or, anything in that, anything. Even as you say that, Steph, even down to, I've had a man recently wrote to me and said, I've followed your program. My wife and I have followed your programs, and our children, one of our child has been diagnosed with ADHD, and it's not easy to tame the beast, but you can certainly quieten it through nutrition. And I thought, wow, what an amazing statement that is, because we know that research knows that. Lisa, you would be all over that. But to be able to help your family in that way, just through food.
and learn about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, let's do another question before we run out of time. We've got so many. Okay, so this one, I'm thinking of joining the program for the February start. Will I be able to do with a lifestyle membership, or do I have to specifically join the program that starts in February?
I'll let you girls answer that one.
You go, Steph.
You don't have to do the lifestyle membership. You can join a single round, but if you do join as a lifestyle member, you will have access to the February round as part of your membership. And to be a lifestyle member, it means that you will have access to continuous rounds for whatever the duration of your membership is. So if you're starting out and you think, I would like to do 2 rounds, then a lifestyle membership is going to be really beneficial to you. But you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to test it out, you join a single round and then see what happens after the 12 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's a great description.
And the lifestyle membership gives you access to a whole lot of other goodies as well that a regular round doesn't. So exclusive recipes and workouts and things like that. So I guess you just really need to think about, do you think 12 weeks will be enough for you? And from a cost point of view, it can often be more cost effective to join for 12 months than for 2 rounds. So really comes down to what you need.
Okay, so we've got
some people though like the idea of a challenge. Some people like the idea of a time start and time finish. Others don't like that at all. So I guess that's why those 2 options are there for people, whatever kind of is your cup of tea.
So another question. As I've hit menopause, 50 years old, I've found it increasingly difficult to shed any weight. Are there any specific tips specific to my age group, such as probiotics or other food groups?
Oh, okay. So I think the main thing, or one thing that you can really look at when you're postmenopausal, is to look at managing your insulin. And to do that, it's cutting out those refined carbohydrates and eating whole grains. It doesn't mean cutting carbs, but just making sure that all the refined foods and the highly processed foods are out of your diet. And so that's where, although 12WBT is a calorie control plan and we stick within calorie parameters, it's really important that you don't choose to eat a cheeseburger at 300 calories compared to a really nourishing meal of 300 calories that contains, fibers and quality proteins and things like that. So I feel like, as I said before, this is a massive topic, but just watching those refined carbohydrates and cutting out heavily processed foods is the way to go as a first step. And then looking at sort of a Mediterranean style diet, keeping, the refined carbs really low is critical though. It's about managing those hormones.
And of course, exercise is important as well.
Yes.
That goes without saying. If you can do some weight training, if you can, even if you can look at, I use my Fitbit all the time, and I'm aiming for 10,000 to 12,000 steps most days, every day if I can. And just by doing that, that's keeping me moving. And it's surprising when you start to look at your steps and you think, oh, wow, I haven't really done many steps today, but I've been sitting at the desk for most of the day. So that just getting yourself up and moving as much as you possibly can throughout the day makes a massive difference.
Okay, let's try and squeeze one more in. This one is a good one. I hate cooking. Any tips for getting better at it?
Okay. No, that's okay. If you hate cooking, start easy, start simple. What do you know how to cook? And then have a search for that. Otherwise, it comes back to eating a healthy plate. Half the plate, non-starchy vegetables. Your protein should never be more than your palm size. Your carbohydrates, no more than a fist size, and a dash of fat. Making sure that half your plate comes from non-starchy vegetables, leafy greens, steamed veggies, a palm of protein, a fist of carbs, and a dash of fat is really where it's at. And so if you really struggle with following recipes and getting in the kitchen, you can, go to Woolies and buy a roast chook from there, pull the roast chook and, sop up some of that oil, pull that white flesh off the chook, buy yourself a bag of, ready mixed salad, an avocado, and you've got,
a couple of cherry tomatoes, boom.
That's right. A cob of corn for some carbohydrate. It's about building meals. So I guess with 12WBT, you start to learn about your macronutrients and foods and how they can support you in terms of your energy and your muscle repair and all of those sorts of things. So in summary, you've got a plate, make half of that non-starchy vegetables, a palm of protein, fist of carbs, and a dash of fat. And look, if you can start there, just by opening your fridge and saying, you know, I need some veggies here, I need some sort of smart protein, I need a carbohydrate, whether that be a cob of corn or some microwavable brown rice. Food does not need.
We also do heaps of smoothies, which are really easy and a great way to sort of kickstart your breakfasts. And we also, just on that note, we talk a lot about eating out. We've got so much content, videos around eating out and how to kind of maneuver your way around that. So if you're someone that doesn't like cooking, I'm assuming you're eating out a lot. So we could even help you with that. But certainly I'd love to get you in the kitchen and just doing some really basic stuff and kind of just getting the hang of it. I love the barbecue chicken one though, and the bag of salad. I think that's a cracker. Nice one, Lisa.
Doesn't need to be complicated, and don't feel like you're failing if you resort to something like that. You know, the real key thing is that palm of protein and a fist of carbs. Don't make a mountain of rice and put, you know, a few things on tops. It's about just using, I like to use the palm and the fist and, you know, a dash of fat, because it's there with you all the time. If you go to the pub and you order a steak and wedges, well, you know, you don't need to eat a half a plate of steak. You look at your palm and you say, okay, I'll have that much. I'll have a little bit of those wedges, but I'm going to also order a side of salad, and boom, there's a really healthy meal. So
that works for your size as well, because I can tell you, like a 6'8" lumberjack's palm is going to be a whole lot bigger than mine. And so it should be.
Completely relative to your body. And so that's a very simple way to pull together a meal without having to cook.
Oh, there's so many questions. I
wish we could stay here all afternoon, but I think it's probably time to
wrap it up. I feel like we've really covered a lot here today. I feel like we've explained, you know, exactly what we do within the program. And I want to give you confidence to know that we've been here a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. Many online programs have come and gone, and we're still here 13 years later. So I want you to sort of come away from this thinking, well, they obviously know what they're talking about. I've got experts, you know, who back me up, and I learn from them every single day. As far as the new year, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves of trying to set goals and, you know, then try to make it all happen. But at least you can be assured that we will give you all the tools and we will give you all the support so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. And like Steph said at the beginning, when you first start, you'll be like, whoa, this is a big website, but we'll be there. We'll be there and we'll hold your hand and we'll get you through it. Important to know that the February round is actually open now. And I have always said that the people who jump in and do the pre-season tasks, we call them pre-season tasks, is basically you jump in now and you get yourself set up, you get your ducks lined up in a row so that when we start, you kind of hit the ground running. So if you do join my February round, I need to let you know that you can automatically go in the draw to win an LG fridge. That's the 2 doors. I want one. I don't have one of them. That are worth $2,500, and we're giving away 3. So you could be a lucky person that gets yourself a double door fridge that we all are basically wishing we had. The preseason is open, as I mentioned, and when you do jump into the preseason, you'll have instant access to the videos and recipes, as well as the preparation tips for getting you ready for the 12 weeks when it starts on the 6th of Feb. Yeah, do it. Like, what are you waiting for? Jump in and do it. And I promise you, you won't regret it. We've had so many people that have come back to us and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please feel free to contact our team on the support. Let me read it out to you. support@12wbtsupport.com for questions, or if you want to shout out to us on our social media as well. We're always open to listen and to chat. This webinar is also being recorded, so you can play it back at any stage if you've had to run or if you've missed any of it. And there goes my phone. Isn't that timely? And that's it. I just hope that you have enjoyed today and that we've entertained you. We've given you some lessons. We've given you some tips. We've given you some practical and pragmatic advice. Ladies, if you'd like to say goodbye.
Thanks.
Bye. See you online in the member zone, everyone.
See you online and stay fabulous. 2023, your year, your health. See ya.